Somewhere in the last year, saving money started to feel pointless. Not in a dramatic way, just a quiet shift. Like the future you were putting money aside for might not actually show up. So you spent the trip, the upgrade, the thing you didn't need and can't fully explain. And a small voice says, why not? Might as well enjoy it while you can. That voice feels like wisdom, like you finally stopped being naive. It's not wisdom. It's one of the oldest instincts you have, firing at the worst possible target. And it is quietly costing you the exact security you are afraid of losing. By the end of this, you'll see the loop running underneath it, and you will never hear that voice the same way again. Here's what makes this one so hard to catch. Every other money mistake you can feel yourself making. You know the impulse buy is dumb while you are doing it. You feel the guilt loading before the package even ships. But this one feels smart. It wears the costume of clarity. You are not being reckless. You are being realistic. You are not overspending. You are getting ahead of the price hikes. You are not avoiding your future. You've just accepted, like an adult, that the future is uncertain. So you might as well live now. Every single one of those sentences is your brain lying to you in a voice that sounds exactly like your own. And you are not alone in this, not even close. Americans are now carrying more than $1 trillion in credit card debt, a record. And a huge share of it isn't reckless partying. It's fear, quietly swiped, one treat at a time. So no. This isn't a willpower problem. You don't need more discipline. You need to see the thing pulling the strings. And to do that, we have to go back. Rewind a few years. You are younger, a little more hopeful. Money is tight, but the plan still feels alive. Save, invest, wait, and one day it pays off. Then the news hits. Pick your year, they all rhyme. Layoffs sweeping your industry. Prices climbing on everything. Some headline that makes the ground feel less solid than it did yesterday. And you notice something strange. You are scared, but you are not saving. You are shopping. That first time, it's small, something on sale. You tell yourself it's practical. Buy it now before it costs more. You click. And for about 20 minutes, the fear goes quiet. That's the moment the loop is born. Not because you are weak, because it worked. The fear was unbearable, and one purchase made it bearable for a little while. Your brain filed that away. Threat detected, solution found. And it will reach for that solution again and again. Every time the world flinches, so will your wallet. Now come back to now. The loop is fluent. You don't even need a real crisis anymore. A push notification does it, a doom scroll before bed, a coworker muttering the word restructuring. The threat doesn't have to be at your door. It just has to be on your screen. And here's where it gets seductive. Because you look around and you are not the only one. Meet Theo. Theo is thriving, or that's the broadcast. New watch, a weekend in a city you can't pronounce. Life's short, he says, tapping his card. You can't take it with you. Theo has fully made peace with spending, and he looks free while he does it. And some quiet part of you thinks, maybe Theo's got it right. Maybe he's the smart one, and you are the sucker still checking prices. But watch Theo when the check comes and no one's looking. Watch the flicker. The way he changes the subject when someone asks about savings. The trips get louder as the account gets thinner. Theo isn't free. Theo is running, and spending is how fast his legs move. However you dress it up, doom and treat yourself are the same engine. Theo isn't your goal. Theo is a warning you mistook for an ad. So let's put a real number on the running. In just a second, I'm going to show you the exact 3-part loop firing in your brain, and the one move that shorts it out. But first, you need to feel what it's actually costing you, because the price isn't just money. Surveys keep finding the same thing. A large share of younger adults admit they've bought things they couldn't afford, specifically because they felt pessimistic about the future. Read that again. The worse they expect things to get, the more they spend preparing for nothing. And here's the cruel twist. The purchase is supposed to buy you a feeling of safety, but the debt it leaves behind makes you objectively less safe. Thinner cushion, higher payments, fewer options the day an actual emergency shows up. You are spending your future security to feel secure right now. That's the trap. Now let me show you why your brain keeps falling for it. It has a name now. People call it doom spending. But the name is the least useful part. What matters is the machine underneath, and it runs in 3 moves. Move 1, the alarm. Deep in your brain sits a threat detector, older than language, built to keep your ancestors alive. It cannot tell the difference between a predator in the grass and a headline about layoffs. To that part of you, a recession and a lion are the same event. Danger, now. Move 2, the collapse of the future. Under that kind of threat, your brain does something that was once brilliant. It shortens your horizon. When you might not survive the week, planning for next year is a waste. Grab what you can now. That instinct kept humans alive for 100,000 years. Pointed at a 30-year retirement, it's a disaster. Move 3, the grab for control. Everything's scaring you. Prices, layoffs, the economy. You can't touch any of it. But the checkout button? That you can press. Spending becomes the one lever in reach. So you pull it, and for 20 minutes, you feel like you are steering again. Alarm, shortened future, fake control. That's the whole loop. And once you can see all 3, you can catch it mid-fire. Here's the reframe that changes everything, and it's going to sting a little. You've been telling yourself that spending gives you control, that in a chaotic world, buying something is you taking the wheel. It's the exact opposite. The spend is the moment you hand the wheel over to the fear, to the algorithm that served you the scary headline and the ad right underneath it, to a version of the future where you have less, not more. Every doom purchase is you agreeing with a voice that says it's hopeless, and then paying for the privilege. Real control doesn't feel like a checkout. It's quieter than that. Watch what changes. The next time the fear spikes and your hand drifts toward your phone, you do one thing. You pause and you name it. This isn't a want. This is fear, and I am about to pay it a ransom. That's it. That single sentence drags the loop out of the ancient part of your brain and into the part that can actually think. 9 times out of 10, the urge just deflates because it was never really about the thing in the cart. You didn't need more willpower. You needed to catch the voice in the act and answer it. And if you've been doing this for months, maybe years, I want to be clear about something. You are not broken. You were never weak. You had an ancient survival system doing its job a little too well. In a world that pumps fear into your pocket 24 hours a day and puts a buy now button right next to it. Of course it caught you. It was designed to. The people who get free aren't the ones with iron discipline. They're the ones who stopped fighting the voice and started recognizing it. So here's the whole thing in one line. The future you are scared will not come is the exact one you are spending away trying to survive it. Stop paying the ransom. Start funding the future the fear swears you will never reach, because that is the only move that actually proves it wrong. If this names something you've been feeling and couldn't put words to, subscribe. This whole channel is about the quiet machinery running underneath your money, and the next one goes deeper. I'll see you there.